everyone, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com, and today I wanted to talk about a topic that was very new to me, and I heard about it a couple weeks ago, had to wrap my mind around it after a question was sent to me and really make sense of it all. So the topic is the 40 and the 33 loop. So if you haven't heard about this yet, hold on, because you'll find this interesting too. So the question is, after creating a mess with the Philadelphia experiment, they continue to work on the subject of cloaking and anti-gravity. When they performed the event during the Montauk Project, 40 years later, they kind of folded the timeline into a loop. So between the Philadelphia Project and experiment and the Montauk Project, there was a 40-year gap there that supposedly, because of the activities that took place, there was a timeline loop created. So this 40 years would repeat again and again energetically. People who are trapped in religions, cults, and organizations are trapped in a timeline consisting of 33 years. So this is separate, but was created because of all these other timeline manipulations that were going on. And there's different timelines connected to each person, but most reside on either this 40-year loop or the 33-year loop that has been manufactured and created. So the way out can be achieved by letting go of these attachments and traditions and even clearing implants. They can slowly transition to another loop. It's through that 42-year loop that leads to the new earth. David Topi from Argentina explains that as we begin collectively to merge to the 42-year loop, so again, breaking away from the 40-year loop and the 33-year loop, this 42-year loop creates the pathway to the new earth, and all other timelines are collapsing around it. So there's only going to be the one loop left. So what are my thoughts? So I had to think about this, and I had to really understand and see how all these different timelines are working, how things overlap over one another, and just get some kind of clarity as I approach this topic. So I had to realize, did this Philadelphia experiment create a 40-year loop, and is there a 33-year loop that people are stuck in because of attachments, addictions, and all this other stuff? And then we have a 42-year loop that we need to get our way toward in order to move to the new earth. So all these different things are out there, and all this terminology that was really new to me. I wanted to look at this. So I broke this down into sections so I could make better sense of it. So the Philadelphia experiment, I did see this as a military operation, that they wanted to get some kind of a defense technology to set them apart from the rest of the world. I got that they took ET technology, they reverse engineered it, and they attempted to use this cloaking while in enemy territory. So this was all this testing that was done, and it looks like they used enormous electromagnetic fields that but they couldn't hold this cloaking ability for a very long period of time, just a few minutes max. It made people in the close vicinity really sick. And I got that the human body is not meant to withstand this type of technology. And in the process, some kind of vortex was created above and below the location, and a timeline shift did occur. In my mind, it did look like a blip on a graph if I was to visualize this energy and what was happening during this time. So then fast forward a few decades later, after reevaluating what they did with the Philadelphia experiment, they decided to take the plans back to the drawing board, and as technology is constantly evolving, they finally felt like maybe they had the ability to accomplish what they started. So the PTW, the powers that were, they had this huge influence on the military, and they wanted to invest in the Montauk Project. Not only was it to look at military defense, but they started to invest in mind control, psychological warfare. A lot of stuff happened during this project. The PTW wanted to have the most influence and control when it came to defense and forcing their way, and the activities tied to this project created what looked like a blip on the graphs also. So you have this Philadelphia thing going on, you have Montauk going on, all creating just very weird energy cycles. So in terms of the 40-year loop, I don't see it exactly as 40 years, but I do get that these projects set things in motion and they definitely altered timelines. I don't see it like a repeating loop, but I see that each event created more of like a fork in the road and altered paths. And the cause of these two events created an effect that altered the way that people were controlled and influenced. So it did forever change lives, but it looks like a complete timeline, not a loop that we're stuck in, but actually a total divergence of a timeline. So then I think about this 33-year loop, and everybody has repetitive cycles in their lives. Some are 7, 11, some are much greater, but everyone has this cycles of lessons and things that they repeat until you either learn your lesson, you understand it, it might take a different form as it comes back to you, like abandonment, addiction, health, loss, birth, joy, all these different things, they come back full cycle. But I didn't see it having to be 33 years. So a purging or release of something not serving you does propel you on a new path, but I don't see the name or a title of a path or a number tied to it. I'll say they look to have a higher vibration, lead you ultimately to ascension. I just didn't see a number. So once you pass, if you hold and maintain a high enough vibration, that's when you incarnate to the new earth. I don't see it called a 42-year path or a loop or being the only way to get there. To go to the new earth, it's very individualized and truly tied to a vibration of your spirit and the lesson that you desire to learn. Can it be learned in 4D? If not, you may have to come back to 3D. So it's so unique to the person and not necessarily a timeline. That's how I see that process occurring. So super interesting topic, very complex. I loved looking at this. It was a pretty new idea out there, and I loved thinking on it and sharing it with all of you. So I'm curious to see your comments and what your thoughts are as well. Thanks for listening. Please like me, share me. Thank you, patrons that have gone to my channel and supported me. I super appreciate all of you. And again, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com. Thanks. Bye.